From the Cronkite studios in downtown Phoenix, this is Cronkite News.
Phoenix City Council voting right now on the future of the Suns in Arizona.
Plus, dead bodies on display while a local religious group wants to shut the exhibit down.
And he's coming back. Despite retirement rumors, Fitz officially announces his return to the Arizona Cardinals.
Cronkite News starts now.
Good evening and welcome to Cronkite News on Arizona PBS. I'm Gabriela Becerra.
And I'm Austin Burnett. Thank you for joining us.
The Me Too movement might be helping victims find the courage to get help. In 2018, the National Domestic Violence Hotline reported a 30% increase in calls, and Arizona is no exception.
Last fiscal year, the state's Safe Domestic Violence Services Hotline answered about 28% more calls than in the previous year. Sammy Gabers reports, as more and more people reach out, beds in domestic violence shelters are consistently full.
How was your day?
Leslie Evans' days are devoted to taking care of her 4 children.
Mornings are crazy because everybody gets up at different times. Are you going to be behind on your homework?
Going to and from school and helping out at her church in Phoenix.
How are you?
Even though life can be hectic for the single mother of 4, it's filled with happiness.
Thank you, Father.
But it wasn't always that way.
You have the right to be happy. You have the right to control your life.
And because she reached out for help, Olsen is now the one in charge of her own life.
You ready to be done on the swings?
No! Although maybe not of her 3-year-old at times.
Okay, jeez.
In Phoenix, Sammy Gabers, Cronkite News.
Even though there are less domestic violence shelter beds than years before, Cindy Patterson said that community-based programs are reaching more people than ever. To learn more about the services in Maricopa County, you can call 480-890-3039.
You're a pathological liar. You don't know truth from falsehood.
Sir, I'm sorry. Are you referring to me or the president?
Hey, this is my time.
Are you referring to me, sir, or the president?
When I ask you a question, yes, I'll ask for an answer.
Sure.
A testy moment between Arizona Representative Paul Gosar and Michael Cohen, the former personal attorney for President Donald Trump. The heated exchange came as Cohen appeared today in a hearing in front of the House Oversight Committee. Good evening, I'm Imani Stevens.
And I'm Eliav Gabai. Thank you for joining us. Cohen called his former client a racist, a con man, and a cheat. He says the president has lied about his business dealings and his personal life.
Meanwhile, Republicans claim Cohen, a convicted felon, is the liar, angered for being passed over for a promotion.
Cohen presented several pieces of evidence, including a $35,000 check for hush money for the president's alleged affair with an adult film star.
Cohen also said Trump knew in 2016 about WikiLeaks preparing to release emails damaging his opponent Hillary Clinton's campaign, and that Trump lied about an ongoing project during his own campaign of a Trump Tower in Moscow.
Republicans on the committee, including Paul Gosar, refuting Cohen's ability as the now disbarred lawyer who's facing 3 years in prison for tax crimes, campaign finance violations, and lying to Congress.
For those who question my motives for being here today, I understand. I have lied, but I am not a liar. And I have done bad things, but I am not a bad man. I have fixed things, but I am no longer your fixer, Mr. Trump.
We have team coverage headed your way.
Let's go first to our Cronkite News Bureau in Washington, D.C., where Alyssa Kling spent the day at a Cohen testimony watch party.
Alyssa, how are people reacting?
Well, people across the country were glued to the congressional testimony today of Michael Cohen.
17,492. That's the number of suspected opioid overdoses in the last year and a half here in Arizona. Many of those deaths are attributed to fentanyl, a substance that's increasingly mixed into illegal drugs.
Tonight, in a Cronkite News special report, Bryce Newberry joins us live with a look at a tool advocates say can help save lives.
More than 300 people have overdosed in just the last week here in Arizona. There's a growing number of advocates who believe we need to look at new ways to address the opioid epidemic. The problem is the law, at least in Arizona, because it doesn't always align with good intentions.
Typically, they expect to see me at least a few times a week. But
Alfred Delgado has battled addiction.
I wanted to do well. I wanted to change. I just didn't know how to make that change happen.
If for some reason some policeman comes to me and said, whatever you're doing is illegal, I would say, fine, take me to jail.
While Maryland lawmakers may be making headway using fentanyl test strips, there's little momentum here in Arizona. The Arizona Attorney General's office, local police, the Maricopa County Attorney's office, not one could give us an explanation of the state's drug paraphernalia law as it relates to the test strips. A bill was introduced in the state legislature to legalize syringe service programs across the state, but it doesn't specify the legalization of these testing strips. A similar bill failed last year. Live in the studio, Bryce Newberry, Cronkite News.
In Washington, meanwhile, congressional negotiators may be nearing an agreement on a budget. The proposal would fund border agencies and partly fund President Donald Trump's border wall. But depending on who you ask, the money's either not enough or way too much. As Alyssa Kling in our Washington Bureau reports, groups sharing those positions protested outside the Capitol this morning. Alyssa?
The protesters I talked to at the competing rallies outside the Capitol today included several from Arizona, and negotiations on border wall funding may be winding down. Their emotions on the issue are just as strong as ever.
A popular vintage roadside attraction near the Grand Canyon is no longer in operation. Bedrock City, a Flintstones theme park complete with show-inspired concrete houses, a dinosaur slide, theater, restaurant, and gift shop, closed this past weekend. A new owner is set to take over the 30-acre property later in the week, and they're expected to build a new theme park on the land. One of the longest tenured athletes in Arizona sports history is not hanging up his cleats yet.
That's right, Imani. Despite retirement rumors, Larry Fitzgerald is returning to the Cardinals in 2019. Cronkite News reporter Bailey O'Carroll joins us now with the details. Bailey?
It'll be year number 16 for number 11. Cardinals wide receiver Larry Fitzgerald signed a one-year deal this morning to remain with the team. Fitz's entire career has been played with the Cards, and his impact on the field has been undeniable. But he's been equally as impressive off of it with his work in the community. We talked to the receiver this past summer about the support he's gotten from fans right here in the Valley.
It's been a great deal. You know, you never take it for granted, you know, to have the support of the community and so many people that continue to turn out and, you know, help grow it and give your program visibility. So I'm very thankful, humbled, and, you know, I just hope I can continue to rise to the occasion.
Retirement rumors have been swirling around Fitz for the past few seasons. This morning, he took to Instagram to explain why he will be making a return. He wrote, "A fire burned inside of me my rookie year, a desire over all else to be great, to excel on the field, to impact the lives of others off of it." He went on to say that nothing excites him more than continuing to chase that greatness. And I think it's safe to say Cardinals cornerback Patrick Peterson is excited about Fitz's return. He couldn't believe the news and thought that Fitz was going to call it quits. Now, saving the best for last, former Cards kicker and CBS Sports' Jay Feely said, "You can't get a better teammate or face of your franchise. He does everything the right way, works hard, studies diligently, never gets in trouble, and his greatest quality, he treats everyone he meets with respect, kindness, and dignity." Jay, I couldn't have said it better myself. Fitz opens his 16th season in September. Bailey O'Carroll, Cronkite News.
Well, Larry's back in Arizona, but will the Heat come back?
I sure hope so. Jordan, what can we expect?
So the warm-up is on the way for the Valley. You know, lately it's been jackets all day, but I think we're going to start to get into a pattern of jackets in the morning.
Another area of the state that received some snowfall this Friday, Tucson.
Just under an inch of snow fell this morning down in the southern part of the state. The Tucson airport tweeted this out with the snow falling and covering the cacti. There were some delays and cancellations out of there on this snowy Friday.
The snowflakes were pretty big, and Sammy, as you mentioned, there wasn't a whole lot of snow, but it was still enough for these U of A students to build a snowman on their campus.
It's been raining and snowing across the state of Arizona, and now just an hour outside of Phoenix, it's a winter wonderland. Gabriela Becerra takes us to Carefree, where the cacti were covered in snow.
That's our Swiss chard right there.
Stella McPhee has been working at the Carefree Farmers Market every week for the past 15 years.
We've got green beans, $2 there.
Today, she was one of the only vendors to show up.
I just felt really lucky that I didn't get the memo that the farmers.
Next Tuesday marks the 100th anniversary of the Grand Canyon.
And here at Cronkite News, we're celebrating its centennial by sharing your favorite photos and memories from the Grand Canyon. Text the word canyon to the number on your screen. That's 602-536-9815 to get started.
Your memories and photos may be shared right here on Cronkite News, on our website, or on our social platforms. Again, text Canyon to 602-536-9815 to share your photos with us for the Grand Canyon Centennial celebration next week.
That's it for Cronkite News tonight. Thanks for joining us.
For top Arizona stories anytime, go to CronkiteNews.azpbs.org.